Greetings, complex atomic structures. If you read the title of the video, you already know what we're going to be discussing. And it's pretty sad that I even have to discuss it. But since the school system failed everyone, I am here to help. Okay, I'm not going to talk about the dumb arguments like, why are there still monkeys, because even Answers in Genesis has admitted that they are shit arguments. In this video I'll be debunking the argument from irreducible complexity, which is one of the most popular creationist arguments. As always, I'll be using a video to explain the arguments, so let's get started.
Fact number 5. Evolution is impossible because of irreducible complexity. Irreducible complexity means that certain biological systems are too complex to have evolved from simpler or less complete predecessors.
Okay, so I did some research and found the official definition of irreducible complexity, made by the man who coined the term. The definition is a single system which is composed of several interacting parts, and where the removal of any one of the parts causes the system to cease functioning. The nature of irreducible complexity is something that even many evolutionists have misconceptions about. It's technically a real phenomenon, but there is no Darwinian problem with it. Of course, taking away an entire part of an organism will cause it to stop functioning. It evolved most or all of the parts at the same time, starting with very simple versions of them.
One example is the bombardier beetle. The bombardier beetle defends itself by mixing chemicals that explode, firing through twin-tailed tubes that can swivel like gun turrets. The bubbling liquid that shoots out at 212 degrees Fahrenheit is enough to deter most predators. The force of the round fired should be enough to blast the little beetle into orbit, if not pieces. Slow-motion photography has revealed that the crafty beetle actually lets go with a stream of up to 1,000 little explosions. Together, they are enough to put off would-be attackers while leaving the small defender with its feet still on the ground. There is simply no way the bombardier beetle could have evolved its sophisticated defense system over time, adding swiveling gun barrels or its repeater firing mechanism at different stages.
I can hear your child crying in the background, probably because you're making this video.
It needed them all in one package, at the same time. A beetle that blew itself up would not be around to develop a more refined firing system. A beetle that could not keep the enemy in firing range would not survive to work on more maneuverable firepower. There's simply no way a slow, gradual process will produce this beetle.
In this video, I was originally going to explain the irreducible complexity of the eye, since it is the most popular, but that specific model has been so famously debunked that it's not worth it. Plus, even if the eye couldn't have evolved, it's not perfect at all. Our eye sees things upside down and our brain has to do all the hard work. If that is the result of design, God needs to renew his engineering degree. So let's start with the beetle. Could it have evolved from natural processes? No, God did it. Haha, my homie, I'm just messing with you, dog. Ha ha ha.
I'm gonna kill myself.
The supposed problem put forth by creationists is that the bombardier beetle would blow itself up if the chemicals were mixed wrong. Let's look at this a little closer. The two chemicals used are hydrogen peroxide and hydroquinone, and they explode when mixed together. I don't expect you to remember that, just remember there's two of the explodey things. Along with these, there's an anti-explodey thing that stops the original chemicals from going apeshit. Whenever the beetle is excited, he puts in a fourth chemical to make the liquid be an explodey thing again. Guess what? This isn't completely true. This is how the creationists think the beetle works, so all they're doing is attacking a straw man. The two explodey chemicals I talked about earlier do not actually explode when mixed. They just turn brown and sit there quietly laughing at Cam Ham. It is not until the beetle releases a few other chemicals and enzymes into the liquid that it actually explodes. This means the beetle could have evolved with the original liquid first without blowing itself up. Okay, that explains the bombardier beetle, but what about all the other irreducibly complex organisms? Well, if I explained all of them, this video would be an hour long or more, and by the third one you would start to see a pattern. Either the creationist doesn't know how to biology, or the organism isn't as complex as it seems. If you actually look at this argument, you'll notice that it's just a bunch of fallacies packed together. The main ones are the argument from personal incredulity and the argument from ignorance. You may have heard of the last one before. It's the same thing as the God of the Gaps argument, which says, "I don't know, therefore God did it." This is obviously a terrible argument, and once again, creationists have failed to convince us.